Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. Here is my review of the Gathering Storm Part 3 Rise of the Primarch codex. One of these will set you back £30. It's the third codex in the series and it may well be the last. I would like a Part 4 and a Part 5 and a Part 6 and so on, but I haven't heard any rumours of such. I would like a new Abaddon model and, you know, some, I say, Chaos love. A bit heretical for me to say that, but you know what I mean. I would like other factions and what they were up to during this time. But anyway, this is the Rise of the Primarch. It was sort of leaked a month or so ago with this picture, pretty much this picture and the other picture of Roboute Guilliman. Yeah, his face sort of looked a bit strange. His gait was all off, but the model in person is I'd say different. It's definitely grown on me, and I think it's quite a neat looking model now, but at the time when I first saw that picture I just didn't think that he fitted in at all with any aspect of Warhammer 40K. Anyway, this codex, it's in the same style as the other two, and if you must know, it has exactly the same number of pages, 136 on all three. It's almost like Games Workshop had all of the pages for these books and decided to ship them out in 3 installments rather than one big book or something like that. But anyway, this is the third one, and we say the final one. The first one, Fall of Cadia, would have liked Saint Celestine on there, or even Belisarius, but we got Abaddon, and then we've got the Incarn there, and the man himself, Roboute Guilliman. So the same style of book or codex, whereby you've got a lot of story to start off with, separated with such beautiful, incredible artwork, and some of it new that we've never seen before, with the maps and depictions of the battles and the siege of Hera, and going all the way, or trying to get all the way back to Holy Terror. There he is there, but I think that is obviously when he was in the 31st millennium. And right here is Saint Celestine. There's Belisarius popping on his little invulnerable save there. See, there we go. That's one of the images as well, what we had. So yeah, plenty of backstory. It's a really excellent read. I understand that it doesn't sort of push it, you know, the 5 minutes to midnight. It doesn't quite push it to midnight. You know, it takes a minute off maybe, but you know, it progresses the story a little bit, and it gives us a lot more insight into what's sort of going on at the time, and it's just moving the storyline on a little bit, because before, a year ago, Guilliman was still in stasis, but obviously now we've got a physical model. He's returned, you know, he's not happy with what's been going on, and we get some more backstory with Cypher, which is always excellent. And some of the battles that Guilliman's gone into. We get a look at the Talons of Emperor, I say box set here, but there's no Contemptor, so you've got a gold Land Raider and a gold Rhino. And put it this way, if Games Workshop want to sell more of something, just either make it bigger or spray it gold. And here we have, I say the first Primarch, because yeah, it technically is the first Primarch in plastic that they did of Magnus, but he's so much more detached as a Primarch than Guilliman is now. Definitely a huge creature of chaos. And then you've got this lovely piece of artwork with some odd things going on, such as Saint Celestine there that I managed to just pick out, fighting the Fate Weaver, I think it is, and then you've got Araman whirling about, you've got a Thunderhawk, you've got a Stormhawk, I think it is, and you've got Guilliman battling against Magnus finally, but Magnus being a fair bit bigger than him now. And you've got Belisarius in there. There's just this huge battle here with gods and chaos and, you know, mankind. And yeah, the artwork in this, it's just fantastic. I mean, Is it the best artwork? I don't know. When you're confronted with an image like that, it certainly seems that way. And then in the same makeup as the others, after you've had your sort of 100 pages worth of backstory and setting the scene and getting you up to speed, you then get some images of all the models themselves painted by the heavy metal team. There we go. Again, even that image just makes him look a bit odd, bit out of place. I can't fault Voldus and Cypher, but yeah. And then some images of the fallen angels. And then finally we get to the rules. So Echoes of War missions. So you get your 5 missions there, each one depicting a little bit of the aforementioned storyline and different battles that took place, which is fantastic. Really sort of draws you in and gets you to be part of the narrative. Then you've got some Cataclysm of War missions, and then we get onto the data sheets, which I usually spend most of my time on discussing and talking about. So I've already talked about the rules for these models in their respective reviews, but I usually go over them again. So Cypher, 190 points, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 10, strength, toughness 4, got 3 wounds, initiative 8, attacks 3, leadership 10 and save 3+. He's got his frag grenades and crack grenades. He's got quite a few special rules here, including And They Shall Know No Fear, Eternal Warrior, Fleet, Hit and Run, Independent Character, Infiltrate and Shrouded. I talked in his review that he's a bit of a double-edged sword in the sense that you have him and your Warlord leadership is reduced by 1, and at any cost, if he's sort of captured, neither side get a victory point, but if he's captured by Dark Angel's model, then they get 3 victory points. So you might have to sort of choose wisely who you're going up against. The blazing weapons rule is pretty cool in that he can shoot his pistols twice in the shooting phase, or he can fire them once each, either before or after making a run move. And obviously when he's using his Overwatch, he's doing it at full ballistic skill, which is the ballistic skill 10, and his all his close combat attacks are strength 4 AP 5, and remain in a strength 7 AP 2. So you round those up as well for the strength 4. And then divine protection. When he loses his last wound, then he's assumed to be captured alive if there's an enemy model within him of D6 inches. But if there's no enemy models, then he's removed as a casualty and he's made a miraculous escape. And if he escapes, obviously, you don't get any victory points and things. His relics, his pistols. So he's got Cypher's pistols, he carries bolt pistol and plasma pistol, and the bolt pistol is a 16-inch range weapon, strength 4 AP 5, so just quite normal other than the range. And his plasma pistol is, again, normal plasma pistol, but there's no gets hot rule, so he's not ever going to blow himself up with that thing, which is fantastic. Someone mentioned to me that the sword on his back is Lionel Johnson's and that it's broken, and that he's trying to get it back to him, and so that he can use it, or maybe he's not allowed to use it. But so that's Cypher, quite a nice little model. Then we've got an elite unit here called the Fallen, 100 points, same stats as Space Marines, but they've got 2 attacks and their leadership is 10. You can have them with bolt guns, bolt pistols, close combat weapons. They're 20 points if you add 5 more. And the champion, who's got the same stat line, you can give him Lightning Claw, Power Weapon, Power Fist, Melter Bombs. You can have a combi weapon or plasma pistol. 4 of them, you can give them plasma pistols, Power Fists, pair of Lightning Claws, Flamer, Melter Gun, Plasma Guns. 1 of them, you can give them Heavy Bolter or Las Cannon. So quite a few options there for the Fallen. Pretty nice. And then Fallen Champions, which is the formation with Cypher and 1 to 3 units of them. They get Infiltrate and Fallen Leader. Any unit within 12 inches of him get the And They Shall Know No Fear and Stubborn special rules. So there you go. Then we look at the next big character, Grandmaster Voldus. He's quite a strong unit. He's 6 weapon skill, ballistic skill 5, strength 4 and toughness 4. So 3 wounds, initiative 5, attacks 4, leadership 10 and save 2. Obviously he's got his Terminator armour, so he's invulnerable 5+, but then he's got this Iron Halo, gives him a 4+ invulnerable. He's got all the grenades you could think of. He's got Storm Bolter, nothing special with that, but his hammer is where it's at. This Malleus Argyrum, it doubles his strength, so strength 8, his AP 2, melee force, concussive, demon bane, and specialist weapon. So because of all that, he will obviously attack at his initiative, which is initiative 5, and with 5 attacks on the charge at initiative 5, and with weapon skill 6, got a good decent chance of hitting things, and obviously with a strength 8, wounding them and possibly killing them. No instant death or anything like that, obviously unless he's double their toughness, but special rules, he's got the Aegis, quite standard for all Grey Knights. They shall know no fear, independent character, preferred enemy demons, Psychomaster level 3, and Purity of Spirit, which is on page 126, which is right here. You've got the Aegis, reroll rolls of 1, Purity of Spirit, only suffer perils of warp if 2 or more sixes are rolled when making a psychic test. And then he's got all his powers from Demonology, Divination, Fulmination, Geokinesis, Librarius, Pyromancy, Technomancy, Telekinesis, and Telepathy disciplines. Forgot to mention, he will set you back 240 points, so 10 points less than a Land Raider. He's a bit of a tank, but he's only got the 3 wounds, but he's got a good save and good all-round stats, and the fact that he can hit things quite easily and wound them quite easily at initiative makes him quite a key player. And there's no sort of negative bonuses, there's no like, oh, you know, or victory negative bonuses or minus leadership bonuses or anything. Very, very decent Grandmaster. Then you've got this Bulwark of Purity, which is a Grey Knight formation. We have 1 Librarian. That's a new model that came out a couple of years ago. Very nice, in plastic. 2 units of Paladins and 2 units of Grey Knight Terminators. So if you don't know what Paladins are, they're sort of Terminators, but almost like Custodians in a way, but they've got 2 wounds. The restrictions is that the Librarian must have Grey Knight's faction and must wear Terminator armour, and none of them can take a transport, which sort of sucks. You can't put them in a Land Raider or anything. Bulwark formation, 3 or more units are on the battlefield. Add 1 to the result when making Deny the Witch test. Aura of Purity, when 3 or more units from the formation on the battlefield. If any unit manifests a banishment, psychic power, all units with the demon special rule within 12 inches are affected. All units within 12 inches. It's pretty good. And then obviously you've got a Grey Knight's appendix, so a little bit more about Grey Knights, like Terminator armour, that's quite straightforward. All their special rules straightforward. Psychic grenades, we're getting used to now. Iron Halo, and then demonic adversaries, demonic possession, incursion, and so on. Then we get to the main guy himself, Rabute Gilliman, 350 points. He's a lot of points. Should he have been more points? Because he's damn nigh indestructible. Even when you've got to get through a lot of layers. He's got a lot of layers. He is an ogre. You've got to get through a lot of those to just take him out. What I mean by that is, okay, so I'll go through his stat line and then I'll talk about it. So his weapon skills 9, ballistic skill 6. So his strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, and attacks are all 6. Leadership 10. He's got a save of 2+. Now this is where it gets interesting. So he's got this Armour of Fate. So he's got a 2+ normal save, but then he's also got a Feel No Pain. Then the Armour of Fate gives him a 3+ invulnerable, and he's got a 6 wounds and toughness 6, so it's going to be quite difficult to sort of wound him anyway. But when he's slain, you put a marker there, and on the next turn, 50-50 chance, so on a 4+, you place him back on there with D3 wounds. So he could have another 3 wounds going on every single time. So every single turn, because there's no limit, it doesn't actually say the limit. But if he fails it, then yeah, obviously he is slain. But that's pretty decent that every time he loses all his wounds, you got that 50-50 chance. He's Internal Warrior 2. He's got the Chapter Tactics, Ultramarines, Precision Shots, Precision Strikes, Preferred Enemy Chaos. And of course, his other relic, other than the Armour of Fate, is the Emperor himself, is the Emperor's Sword. And one thing I did miss out on the review is these weapons are used together using the profile below. So both the Power Fist, the Hand of Dominion, or the Power Fist, and the Emperor's Sword, they're both used together. So he's got his 6 attacks, and they're at strength 10 instead of his normal strength 6, AP 1, Armour Bane, Concussion, Soul Blaze, Touch of the Emperor and Whirling Flame. So Touch of the Emperor, any attacks with this weapon to hit roll of a 6 resolved at strength D rather than strength 10. So that is the same as the new Contemptor Achilles Dreadnought, except when Guilliman charges he's got 7 attacks at a much higher weapon skill, but again with the 6s with that sword it's a D, much like with the Achilles Dreadspear on 6s to hit on his 5 attacks when he charges again are a D, whereas Guilliman, if he doesn't get those 6s, he just resorts back to the strength 10 AP 1. So definitely blow for blow, and obviously initiative as well, better than an Achilles Contemptor Dreadnought, and also he's got his 2+ and 3+ and all the rest of it. So yes, he would, you know, in close combat take down. I'd love to see that as well, see a little battle, but then again the points sort of reflect that too. Whirling Flame is another special rule to do with the relic. In the fight sub-phase, rather than the normal attacks, he can make a number of attacks against each enemy unit engaged in combat equal to the number of models that are within 1 inch of him. So he gets all those. And finally, the Hand of Dominion has also got this sort of heavy bolter type weapon attached to the bottom of the hand, and that's a 24-inch range, strength 6, AP 2, assault 3 and rending weapon. So yeah, he can just be sort of popping rhinos with that thing if he wished to. He's very pimped out in terms of his war gear. His other rules, he's the Lord Commander of the Imperium, so all friendly units reroll failed morale checks, fear and pinning while he's on the battlefield. Primarch of the 13th Legion, devastate, assault and tactical doctrines once per game, in addition to any that you already use. So you're basically getting an extra tactical doctrine. And another sort of separate thing is when one of the combat doctrines is enabled, so when the one that you've chosen, all Ultramarines in the army is affected, rather than just one squad. So that gives your whole army, that's just insane, having every single Ultramarine model have the assault doctrine or the devastator doctrine. Just yeah, if you're Ultramarines and you've got him, he's just going to buff your army no end. Unyielding Will, not subject to negative modifiers of any kind, and he may also reroll Deny the Witch tests. His Warlord trait is Absolute Mastery. He has all the command traits from the 40k rules. So yeah, he's a pretty tanky, decent unit. Is he overpowered? I don't know, 350 points? 100 points more than a Land Raider? He has the potential there to really buff an army and go at it alone. I mean, you know, you stick a load of Terminator around him, or the Honor Guard or something like that, or even a load of Custodians around him, and he is just going to buff the hell out of them. Anyway, so that's the main sort of units. Some more formations left. So we've got the Triumvirate of the Primarch, so you have all 3 of them, no restrictions, and you can reroll 1 failed saving throw each turn if you have them. So you have that along with all of his, you know, Armour of Fate and things. Inspiring Presence, Foldus and Guilliman on the battlefield. All friendly units get the Stubborn special rule. The Victrix Guard, so none of them can take a dedicated transport or begin the battle in a embarked transport. So he's got Captain Sicarius, a unit of Honor Guard, and 4 units of Stone Guard veterans. So your 4 units of Stone Guard veterans potentially could be all of the 4 in a chapter if they're 10 each, because there's usually about 40 Stern Guard, but it could be 4 squads of 5, I suppose. Fight like demigods. You add 1 to the weapon skill and ballistic skill for all models in the formation, which is insane. And Primarchs chosen, if they're within 3 inches of Rabute Guilliman, he can make lookout sir rolls as if he was part of that unit. So keep him close, and then he can do all of the lookout sirs. So you got the Warlord traits table, quite straightforward there. The relics of Ultramar, you've got everything from a Terentian cloak, helm of censure, Sanctic halo. You've got a nice storm bolter, which is poison storm bolter, and a soldier's blade. Got a Victrix Strike Force detachment, primarily for Ultramarines. There you go. And then finally you've got your tactical objectives too. So very many data sheets. I mean, you've got Cypher, and you've got 2 Fallen data sheets, then you've got Voldus, and then 1 generic one for Grey Knights, and then you've got Rabute, Gilliman, the full triumvirate of the Primarch and the Victrix Guard. So you haven't really got that many, but I was really impressed, especially with the fluff and all the backstory. I think it's really great that they've fleshed out what's happening at the moment, and they've moved the storyline on a bit. Even though it's not a huge amount, they have pushed it on a little bit, and I'm all for that. And I think it's a great addition to the hobby, great addition to Space Marines, and it's just fantastic that we get a Primarch, you know, for loyalists, because obviously Magnus, we've had Magnus a few months now. So if you've bought the box set, I really can't recommend this book to you enough, more so than the other 2 books, especially if you've got a Space Marine army of any kind. Even if you don't like say Smurfs, even if you don't like Ultramarines, it's fantastic just to read more about a different chapter and about the Imperium of Man and what's happening at the moment. So thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.